Well, good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. Happy Sunday. It is was it November 5th, and it is the day after the great changeover of the time, the fall back, if you will. Has anybody else saw very early hours this morning thinking, why am I even up yet? Yes, that was me at 5:30 this morning. So cheers to you. I was definitely up rather early this morning, crawled my butt back into bed and thought, here we are. So I haven't done a Q&A in a very long time. And I went back and I looked, and it's been well over a year since I did a sassy Q&A. And we're going to talk about a lot of things today. So good morning to everybody in the comment section. I do have Jody in the back office. So if you hear the voice from the great beyond, that is Miss Jody this morning. So make sure you guys say good morning to Miss Jody. She, if you think it's early for me, good Lord, it's earlier for her. We are an East Coast, West Coast kind of a show over here where literally I'm in the East Coast and she's in the farthest point of the West Coast. So good morning. Good morning. Now on that Q&A, sometimes I struggle as to what to teach you guys on the Sass. Why? Because I could do MDF every week, but you guys would get bored out of your mind. I can only teach the same thing over and over again before I even get bored. And one of the things I like to do is ask you guys, what is it you want to know? What is it you need to know? What is it you think you had to know? So first things first, I made a comment about Chicago screws. While I'm still doing some more research on this, I will tell you a Chicago screw, if I get up and go look at it, basically it's a rivet, okay? And one side has a screw and one side has a pin. And you can use them for clipboards, you can use them for leather work, all of that. Chicago Screws does sell a rivet that would fit our clipboards, but they're very expensive. And before I even tell you which ones they are, you guys are going to go, I'm not spending that kind of money on rivets. So I'm on the hunt because I got my Chicago Screws from Amazon, and that's where I've gotten them from Amazon. I need to make sure I find you guys the correct ones that will fit the clipboards, because there's nothing more frustrating than trying to put those rivets together for the clipboards, because you have to hammer them, and a lot of people have issues where you can actually screw them in. So I just want to make sure I get you the proper ones. So before I post any links to that, I am still on the hunt. They do make a 0.13. That's the barrel size of the rivet. That's the size that you need. And I want to make sure that we do our due diligence and we get the correct size for you. I have plenty of sizes. I just haven't had a chance to say, okay, this is the one that's going to work for you. So there's that. So I will be talking more about that. That's going to be great for, putting these type of clips. You guys know what I'm talking about. These type of clips in where you don't have to hammer them. You'll be able to fit it through the slot. And this way you guys can just screw them in and make your life so much easier. So we do have that. Now let's just jump in. I put the post out there and we're going to talk about a lot of things. And I put it out to my back office first. And if you guys don't know who is in my back office, let me introduce you to my admin team. If you see their names floating around, please know that they are part of the admin team. We're going to start right off at the top. And that would be with my sister, Amanda. So she's Amanda. Her Facebook name is Amanda Martone Jordan. So Amanda, and then you have Marvin, you have Jess. So you guys all know who Marvin is, Marvin Paradon. You have Jess Trant. You have Jody Stock. You have Cheyenne Webkin. You have Patty Gorski. You have Jeff Fuller. I think I'm forgetting somebody. Let me make sure I got all the girls. Yep, I think that's everybody. Thanks. Okay, Jody's giving me the thumbs up. Yep, I didn't miss anybody. I have so many names I have to remember. They're your admin team along with myself. So I asked the admin team what it is they wanted. Patty posted this one. She goes, seriously? She goes, what goes into thinking about your next step as a business? And what goes into thinking about whether or not to do vendor shows? And what helps you to decide on doing on-site events or approaching businesses to do their merch? How do you decide or think about a design or a design program, and are you just better off from buying designs? That was a kind of a loaded question, but let's just break it down. So what goes into whether or not you decide you're going to add something to your wheelhouse? As you guys know, I added a laser to my wheelhouse. Sometimes opportunity knocks and you want to just take that opportunity. A, you may have the funds. You might not know where you're going to put it right away, but A, you have the funds, right? And you want to take that opportunity while you have the funds to get it. Because inevitably, when you want something, you don't have the cash to go and get the thing, right? So sometimes it's because it's a convenience thing. Sometimes it's out of necessity because you want to just add to your wheelhouse. So then you contemplate what it is the next thing. I want to tell you a story. Here we go. I have been talked out of doing this probably for the last, I don't know, week now. Locally, there is a DTG machine available. Okay. This has been a very hot topic. There's a direct to garment machine, literally 20 minutes for me. Could I go get it? Could I buy it? Yes. But I have to look at the machine and go, is that something I want? There's a lot of upkeep for a DTG. There, you really can only do, for this particular machine, can only do fabrics. So that's going to limit me as to what I get to offer with it. It's one more piece of equipment that's going to come in and take space in a very tight residential space as I have. I've got, I got things. I can't keep going in every part of my house. My husband may divorce me at that point. So you have to look at, is it something that you're really going to want to have to learn a new thing? Are you ready to put your brain power into that? What programs are you going to need to run the new thing? And is it something you're going to want to sit there and pay for all of the upkeep? So the inks, the papers, the whatever it is that you're going to want to put into that. If the answer is yes to a majority of those questions, then jump. That is a jump. For me, I had too many that I had to hold back. Then I'm like, maybe that's not what I wanted. So that is some of the things that you have to think about when you're looking at getting that new item. Can you afford it? And can you afford all the things that are going to need to go with it? All right. We'll get into programs a little bit in a little bit. Now, her next part of her question is whether or not do you do vendor shows? Do you get a booth? Do you just do online sales? That just comes back down to what your effort is, because there's a different type of effort that to do a vendor show, to have a pop-up shop, to have like a booth space, or to just be online. Really, there are different energies that you need to be able to have. So for a vendor booth or for a vendor show, like craft fairs and whatnot, you have to really hustle real hard, real fast, right? You have a set date, set time. You have to decide what kind of product you're going to bring in, and you run a huge risk. You pretty much got one shot at this. I really want you to think about it. Even if it's for a weekend, you got one shot to make a lasting impression. That's a lot of energy. Not only is it a lot of energy into making your booth space look great and amazing, or your table space, right? But you also have to make sure you have enough stuff at that space, right? And you got one shot to make that first impression. It's like going on a first date. Bam, here you are. Here's what I sell, and this is who it is. Now, that's one kind of an energy. Now, let's say you have a booth space. The difference between a booth space is you're not always physically there. Some days you might have to go and volunteer depending on the type of booth space that you have. But for the most part, the shop owner is a representation of you and your business because they're selling all the things. So they have lots of other vendors in that space. Again, it's a different type of energy because you have to literally make your space be very welcoming while you're not there. You're not present. Granted, it's something that's selling ongoing and it's a month long or 2 months long or however long you sell or sign your lease for. Again, it's a different type of energy. So you don't have to struggle as much, but then again, you do. Again, because you have what you think may sell, you have a longer time to try to sell that item. Whereas a craft fair, that's the moment. You got to sell it in the moment, right? A booth space, you get to stretch it out over a period of time. Again, it's a total mental thing. Now, whether or not you're also online sales. Your online sales is, again, a totally different energy. Why? Because you have to keep up with your social media. It's exhausting. I just need you to know that as someone who does a ton of online sales, This is exhausting. I have to take pictures. I have to be in my social media. I have to constantly be online while working and doing the thing. I have to actually schedule my time, schedule my posts, and keep pushing product out there. I have to be engaging even when I don't want to people, right? Because at least for a craft fair, I can psych myself up. I need a people this weekend, right? I need to do the thing. Whereas a vendor booth, I don't always have to people. I can kind of step back and not have to people. Online, I got a people even when I don't want to people. Okay, so think of all the energy that's involved when it comes to whether or not you want to do these type of items. You really just have to figure out where your energy level's at. Now, if you're having a full-time job, the online thing may be a great thing, or even the quick vendor craft fair type shows. They may be, whew, that's what you need to do. That's where your energy out level is at. And that's perfectly okay. None of these is wrong. None of them is right. It's honestly just based on what you want to offer your client. Now, she goes into, do you approach businesses? Absolutely, you approach businesses. That is basically cold calling. Okay, there is nothing wrong with getting in on the local sites on the Facebook or the Instagram or wherever and start making comments to things, seeing where the new businesses are opening up. Maybe go make yourself well known. Go into these shops, right? You're going to go into these shops and you're going to see what they offer, right? You want to see what they offer and then maybe approach them. If you don't feel comfortable approaching someone in person, get their business cards, get their email address, and then approach them and say, hey, I was in your place of business the other day. I just want to say you have a really cool vibe that I would love to be able to make something for, whatever it may be. And you know what? Let ChatGPT be your friend for that one. But these are just some of the things that you can go with. You can then do mock-ups of products with their logo that you probably snatched off the interwebs and put it on a mock-up so they could see their stuff on things. You really don't want to approach another business with another business's logo. So I am not going to approach, let's just say, a real estate agent's business with a construction business mug in my hand. No, I'm not going to want to do that. I want them to see their brand on something. So if you're going to go into a place of business and give them a freebie, right? Basically, that's your advertising. You want to put their stuff on it. You want them to go, oh, so that's what that would look like. Even if it's a keychain, a lens cloth, something really just low key. Now, what you can do so they know where they got it from. And I'm just going to use my mug for this morning. So I'm not going to go in with the sass into a business, but what I may do is put JoJo's Digital Designs here. But back here, I may put my logo and maybe my email or whatever right here. It's advertising, or put a sticker on the bottom of your mug. Again, it's advertising. You're giving them the thing. You're branding your brand in a small little spot on the bottom. And that's how you can brand it when you're giving away freebies, when you're trying to do your own advertising. So again, put their brand on it and make sure you put yourself on there somewhere too. Small, nothing large, but they at least know where it came from. So yes, approach businesses. Absolutely. Approaching businesses is not a bad thing. You can email them. You can go in the reels, be right in front of them. You are your best advertising. You're going to go in and sell your brand. You are the walking, talking person. Go in with wearing stuff, not necessarily with your brand on it, but stuff that you've made that you're proud of. Go in with your mug. Go in with your purse if you've made those purses. Go in with a pair of earrings, ladies, of course. I mean, men, if you want to wear the earrings, that's on you. If you want to go in with a shirt, a hoodie, whatever it may be, it's completely up to you at the end of the day. So peopling can be, I love this comment, peopling can be a challenge, especially with a full-time job in life. Absolutely, it can be. It is a real struggle. But that doesn't mean you can't chisel out time, schedule time. Here's the thing. When you're not really into the whole peopling thing, you actually have to schedule yourself out some time. I am going to people today. I'm going to people this hour, right? Get your mind set there. We all know if we have a task at hand, if we schedule our time, doctor's appointments, I got to go to the doctors, right? But you know, at 12 o'clock, you have to go to the doctor. Give yourself a set time. I'm going to only people for an hour today because I have no more to give other than my hour. Maybe it's a half hour. whatever it may be. Once you start scheduling yourself out, you start realizing you can people a lot more because your brain is set to when you need to people. Okay. So there's that. Patty goes into how do you decide or think about a design program, or are you just better off purchasing? That's a great question. I always encourage my newbies, go out and buy your designs. If you want to jump into a design program, go for it. But just know there is a large learning curve to this. So, Jody, when Jody first started, she designed in Silhouette in her Silhouette space. Okay. Dragged her over to Photoshop. We've taught how to, in Corel. I'll try that again. It is one of those days I probably need more coffee. Right. So, Corel is a good place to start, but just know that once you start with Corel, you realize you don't have all the bells and whistles, and you really should go to Photoshop because Photoshop has all the bells and whistles. But I will say, Canva is coming out with a lot more features that allow for you to be more creative into design, right? Yes, you have to upload them into their program. You got to upload everything into a program. So if people are like, I got to upload, yeah, you got to upload elements into Photoshop. You got to upload it into Corel. Same thing with Canva. So yes, you can use Canva. A lot of people, when I first started out, I used Inkscape. When I first started designing, it was a free program, still is. I would design in Inkscape. And then I realized Inkscape wasn't doing exactly what I wanted. And Marvin said, it's time for you to move to Corel. I moved to Corel and quickly realized that I couldn't do the shades and the gradients and the shadowing that I really like to do. While you can do them in Corel, they're just really hard. They didn't make this easy. Whereas in Photoshop, it's a click of a button or two. Easy, right? It only took me a month to really hone in on using Photoshop. Am I still learning every single day? And I've been at this for 5 years. So there's always something new for you to learn. Now, I say Photoshop. A lot of people will use Adobe Illustrator. That's also great too. There's a lot of great tutorials online on how to design in these programs. But if you're looking for a budget friendly, Inkscape's good. I hear GIMP's good. You're going to struggle with Silhouette because, again, the constraints. But at least with Inkscape, you can do a little bit more. And Canva. If you've already got Canva, design in Canva. Those are just some places that I would say start out with. Now, what you need to get yourself familiar with is how to use a template. There is a safe space and there is a bleed space. Now, with a bleed space, it means there's an extra little bit on the outside of the safe space that allows for you to print without having to fight with the blank. You do not want your template to be the same size as your blank. I'm going to say that again so that we can make sure we all remember that. You do not want your template to be the same size as your blank, because I will tell you at 2 a.m. in a hustle and bustle time of year, you will fail. Yes, I said it. Why? Because you're going to be off just ever so slightly, and the dreaded white line or edge will appear, and you will be beyond frustrated because you're exhausted. Give yourself a bleed space, not a very big bleed space, right? You don't want it to, you just want it to be enough to where if you slid it ever so slightly to the right, the left, top or bottom, you're going to be covered. Will it be a little off center? Yes, but at least you're not going to have that white edge. You can forgive yourself for being slightly off center. You won't forgive yourself if there's that dreaded white somewhere on that ornament that you only had so many of. Okay, so there's that. Things I love to do. Let's see. You do not want your design to be the same size as your blank. Right. Exactly. I had to figure out what Jody was posting on the screen. That is definite. I do love making my own designs, but I have got no problem buying designs I love or in a short on time. That is absolutely correct. So I do the same thing. I'm a graphics designer with over 66,000 sales in my shop. I have over 2,500 designs. I absolutely have no problems not in reinventing the wheel. I will buy from my designers. If the designers have made something, I will definitely take the time to purchase from them because I don't want to have to redo it. I just don't. They did it. They made it cute. I will go buy it. They are worth my time, my money, my energy, because I need that energy that we talked about at the top to go to something else. And right now, it wasn't spending 45 minutes on trying to make this design work for me and find all the things and do and draw. Okay. Sometimes I will just go buy it myself. So let's touch upon some of the other things I grabbed from the group. All right. So Emily asked, she said, how do you know, how do you get your items out besides vendor events? I know websites, but what else could you do? We talked about it already, and that is going and being present. Yes, you can do vendor events. Absolutely. Maybe you want to do parties, print parties, maybe do kids shows. If you're going to do the whole kid thing, it really is just what do you offer in your business and then go from there. I know websites is a thing, but again, it's the cold calling kind of thing where you probably should go in person and visit these new businesses. And maybe they're new to you. Maybe you didn't realize they were there. Look at all the area businesses that you have and go visit them. Say hi or figure out what they do. That is probably the next best effort besides the interwebs and besides doing vendor events. Let's see. Another one is the calm before the holiday storm. How to prep for it and how to plan ahead and how to start promoting it. Start now. You're in the thick of it already. Once October 1st hits, I consider that in the thick of it. So get out there, start promoting. I did a flip book last year, and that was great for my business because people could just flip through. I made my flip book in Canva. There is that. So how do you help prep for the calm before the storm? If you're not busy due to the economy, all right, you're not as busy as you were last year or the year before. What you can do is sit and get all your ornament ties done. You can sit and get all your fabric if you're a quilter or you're into embroidery. Get all your fabric that for your appliques done. Make sure all of your stuff is lint rolled. Start pre-lint rolling things. Can you start at that? Absolutely. Are you still going to lint roll your fabrics when you go before you put it on a press? Yes, you absolutely are. But you can also pre-lint roll them and then you could put them in a tote. This way it's starting, right? You could start there. Make sure you have all your packaging in stock. I just got all of mine. I woke up this morning to literally my front door. When I opened it up, I had a wall of boxes, not snow, but boxes of the bubble wrap. So I had the big rolls of bubble wrap. I have the bubble roll pockets, as I like to call them, and that's to put my ornaments in. So I got my bubble mailers, I got my poly mailers, my twine. I got a new tape dispenser. Now, I'm going to be absolutely in love with this tape dispenser, so you'll have to understand my excitement when it comes in and I show it off. No, it's not the one where you crank it and you've got the 87,000 pieces of tape. No, I'm not a fan of that one, to be very honest with you. I needed a packing tape dispenser because I did not want to have to constantly use the gun. But I needed it to be able to hold my packing tape because sometimes you just need this much, right? So it holds not only the packing tape, but it also holds regular tape, not heat tape, regular tape. And it has a spot to hold pens and scissors. So it's this little caddy that I absolutely needed to have. Thanks to Beverly for searching for it and finding it. I will be showing it off to the group when I have it all set up because sometimes I just don't want to use my packing tape gun. Okay. Need to have that. Oh, see, Kim's got one. Kim understands. It's definitely a game changer. Yes, I will definitely put it in there. So that's one of the things. You want to make sure you have all the pieces to your puzzle, whatever your puzzle may be. It could be your gift wrapping if you offer gift wrapping. It could be all the boxes that you need. It could be the tissue paper. Make sure you have all your cards printed at this point, right? Your cards that you put in with your packaging. Make sure you have your business cards. Make sure you have your care instructions all printed out. This is stuff you could do during your downtime. Get it all prepped and ready. Maybe make yourself a packing station. You guys saw I made a packing station out of a shelving unit. It was genius, right? I put some pegboard up and now I have cubbies for everything by using the pegboards to store all of my stuff. Now I am ready. So those are just some of the things that you can do to get yourself ready. What can you do for your online presence? Post stuff you made last year. I know that sounds crazy. And I can tell you that as a graphics designer and as somebody who sells stuff, I will post stuff from last year. Do you guys remember seeing this last year? This was a huge hit, ... Or do you know that I still have this in my shop? This is still a hot item. Whatever the term you want to use, bring back what you did before, because a lot of times we can't post what the stuff is that we're making for this year because they're Christmas presents and you don't know who is in your audience. You don't know that Jody's sister, who she bought something for her, is in there, right? You have no idea who's on your page and who is watching your stuff. So post the things from Christmases past. That's the best thing you can do. Let's see what else. Somebody asked about managing files. That's a hot mess express. I like to set up my files based on vendor. So I do a year for me. So this is for me because I design within the year, and then I have spring, summer, fall, that kind of thing. But from your side of the view versus a designer side of the view, I set my files up based on where I purchased them from, so which store. And then I also set them up by the theme. So it could be Christmas, it could be baby, it could be cutting boards. And then I set them up by theme so that I can find them a little bit easier. Some people will set up a cutting board. Let's say cutting boards is the main file, but in there it's set up of all the vendors or designers who made designs for them. So you could do cutting boards, and then in there you could have design shop A, B, C, and then when you open them up, you'll know exactly who made them and where to find them. So that's probably the easiest way for you guys. I have to do mine slightly different because I deal with vendors. So, and as a designer, I have to keep that all checked out and theme and idea and year. So start out with the cutting board, and then within that cutting board, label each file or folder, I should say, each folder with where you got it from, and then you'll be able to do it that way. All right, let's see. We just talked about holiday prep. All right, let's go to the comments and see what we've got going on. At a show yesterday, I had 2 different customers ask me why I didn't have a certain ornament with me, different ones they had purchased before and wanted again. Was good to know that the designs were still popular. Yes, your designs are still very much popular. I'll get back to Patty's in 1 second. Kim goes, make sure on that whole file thing, I'm going to show this. Make sure you rename them to something meaningful so that you won't forget where you saved them. Like, yes, you will search around. So for example, if it's got sunflowers in it, you might want to label your folder sunflowers. And then in there, everything that you know that had a sunflower in it, because your client comes to you, I want a sunflower cutting board. Well, I could have named it something completely different, but you're going to throw it in a sunflower folder, and then it takes down the time for you looking for it in your search bar. Also, it's okay to rename your file. My suggestion for renaming a file is keep the original name, just do a dash or add what you're going to remember. So when you're in your search history for your files, you might not remember what I called it, but if you put, for an example, I may call it vintage blue something, right? But it has sunflowers in it. I might not have put sunflowers in the title at all. You might want to do a dash and then put sunflowers in there so that when you go to type in your search, you can type sunflowers in, and that file will end up coming up, right? So can you rename a file? Yes, but my suggestion is if you're going to ask me to tweak a file, I'm going to need to know what file you're talking about. That's probably a good thing. And if you knew what it started out with, it'd be best. What are your thoughts on both an Etsy shop and a business website? I have both. Go for it. You get more bees with honey. It all comes down to the cost of whether or not you want to have the website. There are fees associated with that, but there's also fees associated with Etsy. Here's the plus side to Etsy. They have the traffic, right? They are going to push traffic towards your Etsy shops. They have that. You have to push your own traffic to your website. So now we've got that. Downside to Etsy, someone can come up with and literally ding your shop and say for copyright infringement for X, Y, and Z reasons, which everybody buys a lot of the same designs, but somebody could ding you and say, well, no, that's mine. Too many dings will get your shop shut down, and Etsy gives zero. They will shut your shop down for whatever the reason is and not care. And it's a fight to get that shop back up. And sometimes they can ban you altogether from ever creating another shop. So you run that risk. Whereas your website, it's yours. All right. You can put what you want on there. I don't care at the end of the day. Just remember, the whole copyright thing. But you run that risk, and a lot of people aren't out searching for your website for that copyright. No, they're going to go after you on Etsy because there's so much traffic being driven there. So that's how they can get you. They'll say that they can claim whatever wording. They can do whatever they want at that point, and now your really hot item is dinged for 10 days until you can prove that it's yours or that you have permission to use it, and now you're frustrated to no end. So the pros and cons to both. There's both fees to both. It's just really what you want to do. Do I have both? Yes. Because it's easier for me to give my local clients a .com versus it is, oh, just go find me on Etsy and here's what it is and here's the mile-long name. Because not a lot of people know that Etsy gives you, like mine is the sassysubber.etsy.com. I have a hard time remembering that. So I end up saying it's etsy.com/shop/sassysubber. So that's just too much for people to remember. Whereas for my website, it's the sassysubber.com. Easy peasy, right? So having both never hurts. Having multiple shops on different types of platforms never hurts. It's just more eyes on your product. Is it more for you to manage, more energy for you to put into? 100% it is. But again, it's how much you want to put into your business and how big you want to grow. It's completely up to you. I'm going back to this comment right here. What is old is new again. Right? That's the best thing I can say. What is old is new again. It doesn't matter how many years ago you had it, repost it. And one of those things is go for it. Go for reposting some stuff you might have thought was maybe not a seller 2 years ago, might be a seller this year. Okay. So again, you want to look at it as reinventing your own wheel. It never hurts, because from the time you posted something last Christmas to this year, you probably gained new followers, new eyes on you. You don't know who's walking in front of you and if they've seen you in the past or they're new to you. So if it's a product that you had 4 years ago, the person standing in front of you might not have known that. To them, it's new. Right? But to the person that bought from you 4 years ago, might be happy to see it come back because they want to buy it again because they got a new grandchild, or they got a new son and daughter-in-law, or, this, that, or the third, or maybe somebody, well, I can't say maybe, somebody new became a guardian angel for you in the last 4 years. And that memorial ornament that sold for you 4 years ago is going to touch their heart again this year. So again, it really is okay to repost old stuff, especially when you don't have the energy to create a post or go through and push these items because you're just tired. Okay, it's okay to do that. It's okay to show the thing. It's okay to show something from the past. It's okay. I'm giving you the permission. It's okay. I got an item I started 4 years ago, and it sells, yes, at least once a week. I have the same thing. And believe it or not, my top selling item in my Etsy shop are my elf Christmas mugs. I'm going to repost them again because I have new followers since I posted them 5 years ago. That's right. I posted these glitter elf designs for holiday mugs 5 years ago, and they're still one of my top sellers. So honestly, go ahead and repost them. Post them every year. Take pictures of your product. There's also another thing. This year, make yourself sit down and take pictures of every single order you produce. I know that sounds crazy, but here's why. It's content for next year. You might not be able to show it this year, and it'll be great content. Let's say you make a towel and it has the Smiths, the Jones, and the Carters, but it's all the same. So that's not only one post where you can post them all at the same time, but it's also single post to show how different names look on things. Maybe the Smiths had theirs in black, the Carters, you did theirs in green, maybe, the Joneses you did in blue, whatever it may be. So those make for great content a year from now. So keep taking pictures. Keep your phone next to you. Take pictures. Start a file folder and put it to your Google Drive, right up to your Google Drive, and put it in a specific folder, and that is product folders. Just take your product folders. It's content. It's absolute content for next year. Every time you make something new, whether it's the same thing over and over again, it doesn't matter. It has a different name on it, unless they all say welcome. It has a different name on it. Post those things. Let's see. I'm going up in the comments where he'll just make sure that I am grabbing all the things. Peopling. How full is your plate? My plate is very full. Yes, my plate is very full. And somebody asked me, is it cold up here? Yeah, it's like 45 degrees. So it's chilly here. And over on the West Coast, it happens to be the same, because if you were to draw a line from my house all the way across the United States, you're going to hit Jody. Literally, we're a straight line from each other. So it's cold across the United States today, especially for us northern people. Okay, so there's that. That's a lot so far. Any other questions you want me to tackle? So we talked about the hustle and bustle of the holiday season, things you can be doing to prep. Make sure you get your stuff ordered, packaging, all of that. We talked about peopling. Peopling is definitely a skill, and it's definitely hard. Cold calling, and what are other places you could put your business stuff on. Different products, different gadgets. We talked about the Chicago screws. I just want to make sure I get the correct Chicago screw out to you for the clipboards, because it definitely is a thing. It's all comes down to this post. This little post right here has to be the right width in order for it to work. So Chicago screws does sell them, but they're like $80 for 100 of them. And a lot of people aren't going to want to spend that kind of money. So I need to find the ones on Amazon. I need to make sure I get the correct ones for you. So there's that. Let's see. Post the same time in different ways. They say it takes at least 7 posts before a person buys. That's 100% correct. And what does she mean by that? And that was Kim. So I do a lot of social media teaching, and that is a fantastic tip. So what she means by that is different times and different ways. So you might want to do CapCut and put it in a video form. You might want to put it in Canva and make it have motion. You might, as a GIF, you might want to do it as an MP3. You might want to do it as a stagnant post, meaning it's just the picture. You might want to do a blurb on it and then put the post or put the picture in the comment section, and put it that way. So there's different ways to post it, right? Because it's all going to be the same. Let me tell you what you don't want to do. And I find myself doing it because I sell digital files, is you want to post, you don't want to post, this is a for sale post. And I tend to, as I'm making designs, tend to fall short into doing that. Because, or not fall short, I fall into doing that. Because it's just easy. It's instinctual. Oh, this is for sale, pop it up, right? No, you basically want to show you designing it. You want to show you making the product. You want to show what the product looked like on the end. Maybe you want to show the beginning where you've got your print and all your stuff gathered. That's a post right there. You've got all the things like your craft project sitting in front of you. You want to post it finished, halfway finished. You want to post a video of you, the full video of you going through the steps of it. So you want to keep doing different things for the one thing. So when you go and make a garden flag, for an example. You might want to gather all the supplies and take a picture of that. You might want to be making a video of the process if you want to show that. Some people don't want to show how the magic happens, and that's okay too. But for some people, they don't mind showing the magic because, again, showing the magic doesn't mean someone's always, you're going to fall into people are going to want to go and try to do it themselves. But what they don't and what they fail to realize is all the stuff you have to buy in order to create said magic. All right, you can't go pick this up at the Walmart, at least not yet, where you get all of the things you need in order to, make like a sublimation flag, for an example. So there is that as part of it. Take pictures and videos and stages of all of your things, and then each little bit of that is content. So you could put it all together as one. That's one. You might be writing the written word about it. You might be doing a visual post. You might be doing an animated post, whatever it may be. The more eyes you can see, you never know. Also, time of day matters. So you might want to get in the morning when people are getting up and having their coffee. Maybe you've got your late night people. You've got your people during the day. Also pick strategic times. One of the things that there's no set time. People will tell you, oh, there is a set time to when to do it, and they do it the same time every day. And well, Facebook and all the algorithms of all the different social medias will go, yeah, I see that. And you keep doing it at the same time. So I don't want to say you can trick the algorithms. You really can't trick them. Change up your wording and change the times and stagger them throughout the week of your process. All right. So that's how you can do that. Let's see. Oh, this is a good one. The local Chamber of Commerce websites have a wealth of information on area events, new businesses, and exciting businesses. That's a great pro tip right there. If you're looking for other places to be able to promote what you do or to hook up with, network with, whatever the term is you want to use for new possible new clients. Absolutely. Do you still send out notifications for the Sass? I used to get them, but I don't anymore. No, actually, I stopped doing those. And the reason being is it became an expense that I wasn't sure I wanted to do anymore. In order for me to have certain things, you had to keep upgrading and upgrading, and you could only have so many things, or you could only set out so many texts in a month. And while that's great and all, there were times I wanted to tell you about my sales. So I have my email list for the Sass. It's the Sassy Subber on, I believe it's Gmail, that I have that Sassy Subber list where I can send you out emails. But honestly, you just have to go to the Sassy Subber Designs page. There is the 3 little dots. You want to go into notifications, and then you want to go in and do all notifications this way, not highlighted ones, because then you'll know when I go live. And it'll notify you that I will go live, because we always go live on the Sassy Subber Designs. You can also go to my YouTube channel and do the same thing. Go subscribe to the YouTube channel and get notifications of when I go live. Those are the 2 places that anytime I go live, you'll get the notifications for. So if I'm going to go live in the group, there's also a notification setting for that. Go find out all the things. I've always got nuggets of information to share. And with the giveaway coming up, you definitely want to get those notifications. Yep, this is definitely one thing that everybody has a problem with. Taking pictures is her worst thing. I take horrible pictures and I forget to take them when I'm making something new. There's no such thing as a horrible picture, right? You can chalk it up to bad lighting in your shop. It's what I have, right? At least take a picture. You can go in and do a photo collage of those bad pictures. At least they're a picture, right? You don't have to blow it up and show the bigger picture. Make them into a photo collage. And Canva is a great place to do those, very quick, simple, and easily. So that's a great tip right there. And it works. Notifications. Yes, notifications is definitely a thing you want to do. Now, I did decide to go live today also in the group. So I see a lot of Facebook users. If you're watching me inside the Sassy Subber group, You have to make sure that you let StreamYard have your permission, so that I can see you. Otherwise, you're a Facebook user to me. You're fabulous. I truly love that you're fabulous. But I would really like to know who you are. We started going live basically more so in like that. We started going live in the Sassy Summer Designs and YouTube page for the Sass, so that I don't get those Facebook users. But today was going to be chock full of information. I wanted to be seen everywhere. So there you go. Yes, 'tis the season for holiday prepping. That is definitely another thing. Are you going to provide more Canva classes? Yes, I will be, but not before the holiday season. That's a lot for me to do right now. I run a lot of different shops. So yes, it will be when we do a back to school. It's usually during newbie season. It'll be in January when things kind of settle down a little bit after the holiday season. Right now, it's just a lot for me to take out the hour to do it. Do I have past Canva classes I could offer? I do. If that's a thing, absolutely. I'm going to be teaching a Canva class at the virtual Applique Getaway. I'm doing a live doing that one, teaching a Canva class. So if you haven't signed up for the Applique Getaway virtual one, make sure you go do that. I do have some business classes in there. There's also a lot of embroidery classes that are in there. So take time to go out to the virtual Applique Getaway, and you'll be able to rewatch the classes that I've done, and you get into the VIP group to watch my Canva one there. This is also, yep, I do too, believe it or not. So I have an area in my shop that I take pictures, keep different types of things like sprigs and potted plants and props. Yes, that's a great pro tip right there too. And even if you don't have a space, put everything in a bucket. Yep. Put all your props and stuff in a bucket, in a tote. If you don't have a designated space like Kim does. I don't have a designated space, but I do have my photo boards that I got from Marvin. And then I could add stuff into it if I wanted to. So yes, you definitely can make a pop-up photo space with those photo boards. It doesn't matter what your space looks like. If you get the photo boards from Marvin, that makes a great backdrop and floorboard, so you could take your pictures. Now get yourself also a ring light, an inexpensive ring light if you want to. It helps. You could also get those photo boxes. I've heard mixed reviews on your photo boxes on how easy they are to be used, but you can also just get a ring light as well and take your pictures. It beats taking nothing. Let that sink in. You may take a bad picture, but it beats taking no pictures at all. So forgive yourself, give yourself some grace, and just take the picture. Just take the darn picture. Yes, make sure your container is the size of your largest prop that is in them. Yes, 100%. Do you know what is a good place to put? Yep, it's going to come to me. Your photo props in. Actually, the under the bed, because I like to put my boards in there. I will stick my boards in between my shelving units so they stand up because they're large. But I could also put them in those rolling totes that you put underneath your bed, because you could slide those underneath your tables, underneath your shelving units. Just raise that bottom shelf of your shelving unit if you can. You just roll that tote right in underneath there. There's all your photo props. You can do that. That's another one that you can do for all of that. Again, these are just different things that you can use to make your own props. If you get the ability, go take pictures of your outside space. So, funny story. I have a garden flag that sits right outside. And, well, it's blank. I have a white flag currently hanging outside my house. Everybody goes, Nikki, what does the white flag represent? Pictures, because I forgot to take the darn thing down. So I recently did just take it down, but I had it out there for a month, a blank flag out there for a month, so that I can make my mock-ups in the reels of my house, in my garden, and take the picture. Yep, I'm that person. I forgot to do it, but that's okay. Take your stuff inside the reels. Once you put up your Christmas tree, go grab all your ornaments and take pictures of your blank ornaments on your tree. And then if you need help removing the white part of it, we can go in and do that. We can make it so you could just lay the design behind it or make it into a mock-up. Yes, the white flag of forgetfulness. Oh, I love that one. That's great. That's good. I don't know who said that. That's great though. That's great. So that's what you could do, is go take pictures on your own Christmas tree. It's in the reels. It's doing the thing. Go wash off the front of your stove, because I know y'all. Okay, our stoves get dirty, but go take a picture of a blank towel. It's okay to go take, in this downtime too, if you have downtime and you're not prepping, go take pictures of blank things, and then we can make them into your own mock-ups. It was Evelyn. I don't know why that name was not coming out today. So there's that. Changing your light bulbs, yes, to all LED daylight bulbs is a huge difference. Yes. So I have that in my shop. I have regular soft ones over here, and then I have the LED daylight ones over above my shop space, which I will be changing them all over coming across because of the pot lights. I hate pot lights. But yes, that does help. It also helps for those winter blues, for those of us that live in the cold weather months, in states where we get lots of snow. Those states, we see a lot more darkness. And I can tell you, my daughter who lives in Florida, it'll still be light out and it's dark as day, as dark as night here, dark as day. It's dark as night here. And she's in Florida and it's just dusk there. So we see less of the daylight. And so those lights, I will tell you, help with your mood as well. Not to get into all of that, but they can definitely help. Let's see. Good sass. I think if there's any other questions, we're going to stop right there. That was a lot of nuggets of information for you guys to take in and listen to it all. So there's lots that you can do for holiday prep. There's a lot that you can do in your downtime. Everybody has downtime. Even I have downtime. So when you're sitting and you're doing nothing, it's a great time to post on your social media. That's a great time to schedule those posts wherever you're on the interwebs. It's a great time for research, because sometimes we need a research break. We need our brains to just be somewhere else than other doing the thing. It's okay to have your downtime, but it's also okay to take downtime. So make sure during this next 2 months, you take time for you. One of the things I'm going to do, going to see the Rockettes at Radio City Music Hall with my husband. I'm taking a Sunday off, and that will be December 3rd. I will be taking off to go on a bus tour to go see New York City at Christmas, because my brain's going to need a break. But write this down, December 1st. We will be having the Christmas giveaway. The only way you can be a part of this Christmas giveaway is to be in the group, the Sassy Subber group. You could only be a part of this giveaway. Currently, we're in phase 1, and that's gathering all the donations from the tribe. If you would like to donate an item, there's a link inside the group. I'll make sure that it's in a featured section, or Jody can actually go make that featured right now. I don't know if she can or if I can. Go make that post a feature in the featured section. Please, if you'd like to, it doesn't matter who you are. If you would like to add a donation to the giveaway, you may do so as a nation. I will then be signing up after November 10th. You only have until this Friday to do it. All right. It doesn't matter. It could be a gift card. It could be, like I said, people want to do gift cards to Amazon. They want to do gift codes to the different vendor shops or designer shops. They want to donate something that they've made. We have somebody who is doing a rhinestone tumbler. We have somebody who's doing the sling bags. So there's lots of different things that people are donating. There is nothing too big or too small to be donated. It is thankful, and that's what we are thankful for. Most of the vendors have signed up to be a part of this as well. You guys saw that I have an embroidery basket I'm doing, and that's sponsored by Tex-Mex with a lot of great goodies in there. This coming week, you're going to learn about my laser basket and what we're going to be putting in there. And then the week after that, you're going to learn about the sublimation basket and That's right. I decided the fourth basket was going to be for my EcoSolvent printer, but not a lot of people have those, but everybody has a Cricut or a Silhouette nowadays. So we are going to be doing goodies for that, and that will be the fourth basket. So make sure you guys sign up first for the tribe donations, and that's this week. The following week, you get to sign up to try to win a prize. And there's going to be something new this year about the money prize. So stay tuned for that and for more details. Thanks guys so much for watching. You guys have been amazing. Thanks for all the great questions, comments. I love them. Thanks for doing this Q&A. And until next time, I'll see you guys all real soon. You know where, on the flip side.